Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Kill another soldier now!
Al-Qassam, you make us proud!
Al-Qassam, you make us proud!
Kill another soldier now!
Kill another soldier now!
Al-Qassam, you make us proud!
Al-Qassam, you make us proud!
Kill another soldier now!
We will honor Khomeini!
From the belly of the beast!
From the belly of the beast!
We will honor Khomeini!
We will honor Khomeini!
From the belly of the beast!
From the belly From the belly of the beast!
We will honor Khomeini!
We will honor Khomeini!
Welcome, my friends, to your Saturday morning extravaganza, the Saturday morning vibe. The sounds that you heard introducing the program this morning come from New York City. They come from walking distance. It's a long walk, and I've done it, by the way, walking distance from where the World Trade Center was taken down, the Twin Towers, and where terrorists killed over 3,000 Americans on September 11th in the terrorist attacks. Those sounds, kill another soldier now, they're talking about our military. Honoring Ayatollah Khomeini. That was all happening in Zohran Mamdani's New York City. Of course, those protesters, and I'm not blaming them on Mamdani, don't get me wrong, but he's the mayor now. Every single one of them should be identified. If any of them are here on a visa, it should be revoked and they should be sent out of the country. But you're violating their freedom of speech. They don't have freedom of speech if they're guests. It's a privilege and an honor to be invited as a guest into the United States. It's not a right, and they should be sent home, sent packing. We have a longer version of that protest that took place. It was a vigil for Ayatollah Khomeini and for the regime in New York City. It is disgraceful. And, of course, you hear them urging, as you heard, kill another soldier now, kill American military. I hope the State Department of the United States, paying very close attention, the video footage should be studied. Every single thing to learn about every single one of these protesters should be learned. 800-848-9222 is the number to reach us. If you're interested in calling in this morning, 800-848-9222 is how you get a hold of us. Last week, this time, we were talking about the war with Iran, the military action, if you prefer, the conflict. Woke up early that morning a week ago, and everything that we had planned for the show out the window because, and that's not about this, that's because of events that were so quickly moving. And excellent. We were able to bring you up-to-date information. We hope to continue to do so about what is taking place overseas. In fact, there have been some developments overnight. There was an apology, actually, from the Iranian president to the nations that they have been attacking in the region. He apologized for it, says they're not going to attack any more nations in the region unless they are attacked by those nations. And that is because I believe their attacks on other nations have just united them. That happened this morning. Iran's President Mossad Pezeshkian said in a televised address that Iran would no longer attack neighboring countries after Iran had been launching rockets and drones at other Gulf states. Almost immediately, however, in Qatar and Bahrain, air raid sirens were going off as incoming were coming in. So no one knows whether yet, do you trust their word? Other things happening, some of which we hope to get to today, including the ouster of Kristi Noem. She's going to become an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, an envoy of S.H.I.E.L.D. But S.H.I.E.L.D. of the Americas. She's going over to S.H.I.E.L.D. And I have mixed feelings about that. By the way, we're making moves in Latin America that are not being covered. We carried out a joint strike on a narco-terrorist network in Ecuador. I read an article, I don't have it in front of me, it was from one of the nations in the Caribbean. I want to say it's Costa Rica, but it may not be. One of the nations there where they said, look, we don't want to become a drug trafficking hub down here. They look at Mexico and the cartels. They said, we don't want cartels to overrun us like they've done that. And so they've expressed willingness to work with the United States of America to prevent that happening. Bolivia, article today about Bolivia changing their stance with the United States. There is so much to unpack with what's going on in the world today. I'm looking forward to catching up with Princess Diana today. It's been such a busy week. I haven't connected with her much this week, and I feel like a void in my life when that happens. But it is just so much has been going on. So I'm looking forward to catching up with Princess Diana. America's small caffeinated mom, Rhonda Schrock, is going to be here. You know, Rhonda's son sent me a really interesting text about Kristi Noem. And I'd like to get into that too. Rhonda's son, Gabe. And I really want to address it because, look, I got to tell you, when we get to Kristi Noem, I've liked Kristi Noem from the very beginning when she was governor of South Dakota. I am really disappointed to see the way that things have worked out for her. And I say that, and I say with respect of the fact that I really like her, that a lot of it's her own doing. And I hope that she can recover from it, learn from it, and just become, and kind of get back to the Kristi Noem that excited everybody in the beginning for her clear, level-headed thinking in the way that she presented herself. I think she kind of got lost. Again, I say that as I don't know whether she considers me a friend, but I've talked with Kristi Noem before. I like Kristi Noem very, very much. I'm disappointed, very disappointed in what has transpired. But, you know, this is politics. And sometimes people mature. They mature. We don't all do the right thing. Look at our own lives. How many of us have gone through life and reached the ages that we reach, whatever that age is, and say we haven't screwed up? Now, when you're in public, your screw-ups are public. When you screw up and you're just, you know, nobody really cares except those that you hurt or those that are affected by it, then, okay, but she's public. And her screw-ups are public. They don't have to be the end of the story. By the way, that rally in New York, the pro-Khomeini rally, that pro-Khomeini rally had a little bit of blood attached. The bloody fight broke out in New York City at this vigil for the Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini. In fact, we have a longer version of that cut that we played for you that if we have time, we'll play it. A video showed a man attempting to pull down a poster of Khomeini when a man wearing a SpongeBob t-shirt punched him in the face. Then others began fighting. The vigil featured a makeshift memorial table covered with Palestinian keffiyeh, scarves, candles, photos of Khomeini, with an observer describing the scene as the People's Republic of New York. Meanwhile, nearby counter-protesters waved Iranian, American, and Israeli flags. The James Golden, Snerdley.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's Saturday morning vibe. We like to rock, but we got to also keep a little mellow, keep it going. Like, yeah, let's wake up nice in the morning because we all want to just have a wonderful, beautiful, peaceful weekend. Unless you're in New York City. Bill Maher. You know, did you know, have I ever talked to you about how I've been on, back when Bill Maher used to do the show Politically Incorrect. Anybody remember that show? I was on that show 4 times with Bill Maher. Bill Maher couldn't stand me by the end of it because I turned his audience against them once. He got mad. He started yelling at his audience because they started applauding this was back during the Clinton days. He got mad at me. But anyway, I like Bill Maher sometimes. I mean, when I say that, I like Bill Maher. Sometimes he makes sense to me. Sometimes he doesn't. He's making plenty of sense to me with some things that he said over on his latest show. Cut 5. That one that we have with Maher. Let's start with that one. We're going to get to phone calls, by the way. Thank you for holding. Thank you for waiting. Let's start with this one.
Also, this week, war. Did you hear about that thing? We bombed Iran, and it's going on. Now, have you expected me to say I hate it? I don't. Sorry. When he puts boots on the ground, yeah, then I'll hate it. Now, I know too many happy Iranian Americans. Sorry. You cannot name one horrible thing that has happened in the Middle East in the last 50 years and not connect it to this fascist theocracy. They're like 6 degrees of they don't eat bacon. And it's popular. I mean, Iranians all over the world are doing the Trump dance. Have you seen that? The whole world is jerking off 2 guys at once now. It's amazing, yeah.
Wow. So, yes, we have another one with Bill Maher very quickly. Cut 7, Bill Maher. And this is self-explanatory, my friends.
But, you know, when it comes to the war, when it comes to anything in this country, everybody assesses everything by way of, did my team do it? Then I love it. If their team did, I hate it. I mean, Kamala Harris made a statement. She said, this is a war the American people don't want. And who knows more about what the American people don't want?
Oh, great lines. Okay, we have people on the phones already. Let me invite those of you. Let's see, do we have time? No, I don't. I want to give everybody a fair shake. And we have Adam is hanging in there. I haven't talked to Adam in a few weeks. And Teddy, can't wait to hear what Teddy has to say, especially about the war. And those of you holding on, please continue to hold on. We will get to calls very, very shortly. Also, I just want to make note of, I'm not going to cover it in depth, but the Jesse Jackson funeral was yesterday. I got quite a few texts about that. I saw something today. I didn't bother getting the clip because, frankly, I didn't want it. Al Sharpton, in his speech, I had friends telling me that I should watch the Sharpton speech because it was so powerful. She was on fire. And I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but one of the clips that I did see from it was that he said, but he's not we. He said we, like he's the leader and speaks for black people, that we are not going to celebrate America's 250th birthday because we didn't get paid for 249 of those years. And speak for yourself, Al. You've been paid plenty. You have not had a problem being paid in this lifetime. In fact, you have been paid more than most Americans you have been paid a lot of money. And in fact, as I recall, there was some question as to whether you paid your fair share of taxes on that money. And how you got off the hook with owing the IRS large sums for a long time when most people can't do it. So I think really you might want to reassess that position that you haven't been paid for 200, so you got paid plenty. In the America that made that possible. All right, 800-848-9222 is how you reach us, 800-848-9222. James Golden, Snerdley with you here, Saturday Morning Vibe. It is your Saturday morning vibe, and we want to keep it mellow, keep it grooving, but also rock a little bit. So whatever you do, don't go away. Keep it right here with us.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
One thing we do know for sure, Mueller's bronze. Some people on the fence about that? Okay, here's my evidence. They've known for months. We have all the entire military surrounding their country. Everything is aimed at them. We know we're ready to take them out. They have their big meeting. They have everybody who's important in the country meet in one place. His office. I mean, you've heard of a Zoom meeting? This was a boom meeting. And then they did it again. They had another meeting of who was left. They call, I swear to God, this is not a joke, the Assembly of Experts. Otherwise known as the League of Extraordinary Idiots. And they get blown up again. I mean...
I wanted to get to some of this stuff, but we have people holding, and I don't want to leave people holding for hours like I sometimes do. So let's start on the telephones. My man Adam is in the house. Haven't talked to you since the beginning of this wah-wah. And Adam, how are you?
I'm okay. I just wanted to say that I'm a fan of Ted's, too. I like hearing Ted when you talk to Ted, just to let him know that, sir. Yeah.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, I like Ted.
You like Teddy, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, I want to ask you a question, because you ain't talking about it yet. You might not say nothing. Why has the DOJ revealed that Dave was hiding 47,000 of the Epstein files?
I don't care about Epstein files.
Come on, man. Come on.
I don't.
We do.
I don't. I'm done. I'm done.
Don't be done. They're not done. They're not done. I'm done.
But they're not whatever done. People think that they're going to get out of the Epstein files, good. We'll see what happens. I don't think. Here's what and I've said this from the beginning. At least give me credit for being consistent. I've said this for years. I don't think we're ever going to get to the total truth of everything that Epstein did. I don't think that a lot of the very powerful people that were involved in it will ever pay a price for it. I don't think we know. Some of them will, and some people are having their careers ruined. And I've also said this, and this has annoyed some people, including some very dear friends of mine. I don't understand why these girls are getting a pass. I don't understand. Oh, well, they're minors. Well, okay, not all of them were sweet little innocent little girls that were kidnapped and forced to do things against their will. Some of them were actually pimping other girls out. And because they were 17, what does that mean? That their brains weren't functioning like an 18-year-old and therefore they're not responsible for what they did? Now, some of these girls were horribly victimized. But not all of them are victims. And so why is the whole class of them being treated like victims when not all of them were victims? Some of them were straight up, I don't want to use the word.
You're right.
You know which word I was going for, don't you?
You're right. Yeah, you're right, though. You're absolutely right.
So, I mean, come on with this. Let's stop. And then the whole political end of it. Everybody, y'all didn't care about Epstein all during the Biden years. And so now we're supposed to care about Epstein because y'all think Trump, or I say y'all, I don't know I'm talking about you personally. But I keep, Trump is involved with a minor. You have all these people making these horrible things on some uncorroborated note that's in a file. Guess what we've learned about uncorroborated notes? From the Russia collusion days, we know that uncorroborated notes in a file don't mean a damn thing. Supposedly, if you go back to the Russian collusion stuff, supposedly Donald Trump got mad and let out a bunch of urine on a bed because Obama supposedly said it was ludicrous. What have we learned about uncorroborated allegations over the decades that we've been alive, Adam? Supposedly, Justice Thomas left a pubic hair on a Coke can intended for Anita What's-Her-Face. Adam, do you believe that that Justice Thomas or any man would pluck out a pubic hair and put it on a Coke can, and then somebody would recognize that this is that person's pubic hair and say, that person left a pubic hair on my Coke can? Do you believe it?
Did DNA prove it was his?
There was no DNA back then.
Oh, well.
There was no proof that it ever existed. There was no proof that there was a hair on a Coke can. And if there was a hair on a Coke can, how would you know that it's a pubic hair?
Right. I agree.
But this is the stuff that Democrats have been pulling out for decades. So excuse me, Adam, if I'm not falling for it this time. I don't care. I seriously, and for all AOC and all this dumbness that's going on, the reason that we're going to war is because of the Epstein fight. It's so stupid and idiotic, I can't stand it. That is not the reason we are in Iran. If for those people that don't understand geopolitics, the entire world is being changed right now. Politico had article. I talked about this. Trump is pretty much getting rid of the 20th century. Every single problem that has been facing America in the past century, he's trying to deal with. Whether it's Iran, whether it's Cuba, whether it's this cancel culture, all of it. And that's what's happening here. This is not about the stupid Epstein files, which I am sick to death of hearing about. Your turn.
How about those 92,000 jobs that was lost in February? How about that?
What, no, repeat that one more time.
The 92,000 jobs that were lost in February.
Okay, guess what happened in February?
I'm listening.
Snow. Do you remember? Do you remember? No, seriously. Do you remember that we actually had a blizzard and we had weeks of cold weather on it? Do you know that weather does affect job?
Yeah, I agree.
And there were other things. Guess what? It's not, and do you remember the month before that? The job numbers were incredibly high. So we had a tick.
Yeah. Trump can't save the world with all those stuff you're saying, like he's going to do, and he's dealing with everything.
He's already doing it.
Come on, man. No,
he's already doing it. He's already doing it. What do you think is happening, Adam? He is changing the world. Come on now. Wait a minute. Adam, I got a great idea.
That's illegal. Sir.
Adam, I got a great idea. I want to introduce you to somebody. All right? Guys, stop having a conversation up there amongst yourself and pay attention to your host. Just kidding. My guys, I love my crew. These guys are so awesome. Hey, guys, let's introduce Adam and Teddy together. Put Teddy on the line. Don't drop Adam. Hey, Teddy, meet Adam. Adam, meet Teddy. How you guys doing?
Good morning, Bo. Good morning, Adam. Sorry, I got a bad sore throat. Because I was on the
we
phone.
Lost Adam. Adam, call back in if we can. Yeah, they're getting Adam back. You got a cold, Teddy? What's going on?
I don't know. I was on the phone with Dominic Carter, and I can't stand him anymore. I'm not going to be called. I said to him, "I'm done with you, Dominic Carter." He doesn't want to hear. He doesn't want to hear.
I don't want to talk about other hosts on this program because this is my program. I'm sorry you had it out with Dominic. I love Dominic, I love Dominic. But is Adam back?
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Adam, Teddy's on the line.
Yeah.
You two guys are together now.
Adam,
Hey, Teddy. Yeah.
Adam, you're a great guy, and I agree with you 95% of the time. It may be 100%. I'm not sure, and I'm a math teacher, but I'm not feeling great. Adam, Trump's popularity, his popularity for a second-year term is the lowest it's ever been from all of history. Number two, the economy is going crap, and people don't care how Trump is dealing with the economy, which includes jobs and inflation, okay? So stop it, Bo. I'm a math teacher. I know more math than anybody on your crew and in your station, okay? That was my vocation for 45 years, okay? So
all right, let me tell you a few things that add up. Let me tell you a few things that add up, Mr. Math Teacher. And by the way, I have respect for math teachers. Do you know, Teddy, that I had to repeat algebra 3 times? I had to go to summer school, 2 summer schools in a row just to get through algebra.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Quadratic equations.
Yeah.
And then when I finally got it, I was just like, how come I couldn't do this before? It was just the worst. But I had a good time in summer school. Anyway, let me tell you some things that do add up. The economy is going to be fine, and especially once we get past this little uptick in oil due to the world, oil price is going to come right back down, and that's going to fuel. And what's happening with energy, with the moves with Venezuela, with our own energy production, with what's happening right now in the Middle East, what you're going to see is a lower price of energy than we have seen in a long time. That's also going to drive the economy. You can't just pull out a paranoid shot and say, here it is right now, and so it stays. Things are fluid right now. And they are getting better. By the way, inflation is going down. It's not going up. If you want to look at the high price, the high watermark was what Biden did to this country with destroying our economy. Yes, taking some time, but already. And by the way, here's a good indicator. Go look at a bag of chips from I'm not going to promote the company. One of the things they have highlighted on their new smaller bag now is new lower prices. Companies understand that they have peaked out, and companies are going to be lowering their prices. Our economy is fine. It's going to roar. It is growing already. It is going to roar. Now, as for Iran, do either one of you, Teddy or Adam, do either one of you want to tell me that you sign on with your Democrat friends who stood up in Congress and aligned themselves with Ayatollah Khomeini and said, Iran, no, they're not a state sponsor of terrorism. Do either one of you want to make that claim?
No.
I just want to say one thing, Teddy, real quick. Do you know what a fatwa is, Bo?
Of course I do.
Okay, that main guy in 2020 signed a fatwa saying they will have no nuclear weapons in Iran. Now, all of a sudden, they got
you believe
nuclear weapons. They don't got nothing. They're just like Iraq.
Yeah, they have been. We asked them why they were enriching so much if they only, in the beginning of the negotiations, they said one thing and they do another. Do you also understand, if we're going to start going into fatwas, do you also understand that according to that religious belief system, it is okay to lie to your enemies? Do you understand that?
Well, I hear
that's
what
part
you're
of
saying.
it.
Okay. All
right. So, I mean, come on now. Let's be real. How about you, Teddy? Do you want to stand with your fellow Democrats and say we stand with the Ayatollah? And how about those protesters in New York that was urging to kill American soldiers? You guys find any problem with that?
Bo, I agree with you. Hell no. I don't care for the majority of the Democrats of what the Democratic Party is today. I don't care for it. Bo, I don't know who the hell I'm not going to vote for any Democrat, and I don't like the Republicans either, Bo. So I might just sit my behind down.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Adam, what do you think about what Teddy just said? Hey,
well,
Teddy.
I kind of agree with Teddy, man. I mean, those politicians, either side, to me, is garbage now. They ain't doing nothing to help nobody. When Trump came to office, I live on Long Island, Nassau County. When Trump came to office, gas was in the 270s. Since he's been there 13 months, it's been in the 260s. Now with this war, it's 287. So he ain't really make the gas go down with all this.
It's going down further than that. Just stick around. Stick around.
Man. How long is
But I love the fact neither one of you guys said you're going to go with the look at this. Both of you guys are saying the same thing. Democrats, niet. Republicans, niet. Look, do you realize that the three of us are probably almost in agreement? Because let me tell you something. Just between you and me, there's a lot of Republicans these days I can't stand. Not all of them.
I'm glad
Not
you
all of
said
them.
that. I'm glad you said that.
I can't. I don't understand how John Thune's sitting up there with his thumb up his behind and even waffling about this stupid SAVE Act thing. Just get it done. I'm so tired of the posturing on both sides. I'm tired of the rhinos. I am sick of the rhinos. See, I have different reasons than you guys, but I'm sick of these rhinos. The Lisa Murkowskis, the Susan Collins, the rest of the rhino crew. I'm so done with these people.
You see, wait a minute.
They need tumbling.
Oh, this is where I disagree with you.
We got a break. Yep.
I like Susan Murkowski, and I like Collins. Okay?
See?
I'm tired of you labeling Republicans who disagree with Trump as rhinos.
It's not just Trump. They've been disagreeing with the base rhinos was a term that was established well before Trump. And they were rhinos then, and they're still rhinos now. And guys, this has been great, but we got to go. We're later on commercial break.
All right, sir.
We got to do this again. The three of us. Yeah. Have a three-way chat. I like this.
Adam, have a good weekend.
Yeah. All right, guys. Everybody, bye-bye. Have a good weekend, everybody. James Golden, Snerdley.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This statement from the administration: the president had the constitutional authority to direct the use of military force because he could reasonably determine that such use of force was in the national interest. That's too vague for you?
Totally vague.
Okay, because that's from Obama about Libya.
Well, Obama made the argument initially that he could go into Syria without an authorization. I and many others pushed back on that argument. Ultimately, he did not go forward with going after Assad, even though Assad was gassing his own people, because he thought he might lose the vote in Congress. But I respect the fact that that was important to him, and the fact that he did not have the support of Congress meant that we weren't going to go forward.
That was Adam Shifty Schiff. Boy, Bill Maher tricked him. He said, let me read a statement. The use of, oh, that's totally too vague. Oh, that was Obama. But you know what Obama didn't do? And then he starts tap dancing around it. But I respect him. I respect him. Yeah. James Golden, hour number uno. In the can, headed to the can right now. Hour number duo coming up. More of your calls, 800-848-9222. Later, Princess Di will be here. America's Small Caffeinated Mom will be here. And your call. So whatever you do, stay there. Don't go away.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Welcome, my friends. Our number duo is here. Bo Snerdley, James Golden with you here. It is the Saturday morning extravaganza, your Saturday morning vibe. Welcome. Again, 800-848-9222 is how you reach us. Coming up a little bit later in the program, Princess Diana will join us. Also coming up a little bit later in the program, America's Small Caffeinated Mom, Rhonda Schrock, will join us. This hour, we're going to focus on calls, going to try to get to a few of the other stories that we have and some audio that we have been busy preparing for you, and that audio stretches across many areas, but also deals with the Wawa. I guess that is a good place to start. And I want to start this hour with, you have it, Matt, as number one, the Caitlin Collins thing from CNN. We might as well just play this now and get this on the table and off the table. So let me know when you have it ready. James Golden, again, Snerdley with you. And this Caitlin Collins is here. Go ahead, play it.
It happened on an elementary school in southern Iran that killed scores of children. Tonight, a CNN analysis of that attack reveals evidence suggesting that the United States military was likely responsible for it. What you're about to see is disturbing. I want to warn you. The United States says it's still under investigation. But this was the scene at the school just after the strikes 1 week ago, nearly. CNN has not independently confirmed the death toll, but Iranian health officials and state media believe that at least 168 children and 14 teachers were killed. Our analysis, which is based on satellite imagery, geolocated videos, and the assessment of munitions experts, suggests that the school was hit around the same time that an attack that American forces had launched on a neighboring Iranian naval base. This new satellite image shows several Revolutionary Guard buildings near the all-girls school. You can see how close they are. In red, you can see the craters at the center of the structures, including the school, and what experts say look like precision strikes. A wall, marked by that dotted line there, is all that separates the school and this base. When asked about the strike this week under multiple times during multiple different press briefings, this is what Trump administration officials have told reporters.
Did the United States airstrike a girls' elementary school and kill 175 people?
Not that we know of, Sean, and the Department of War is investigating this matter, and I would just tell you very strongly, the United States of America does not target civilians, unlike the rogue Iranian regime that targets civilians, that kills children, that has killed thousands of their own people in the past several weeks, and uses propaganda quite effectively, and unfortunately many people in this room have fallen for that propaganda.
Can you give us an update on what the administration knows, what you know now about the reported strike on a girls' school in southern Iran on Saturday?
All I can say is that we're investigating that. We, of course, never target civilian targets, but we're taking a look and investigating that.
Now, the internet blackout in Iran has made it very difficult for our teams to examine weapons fragments that are left at the scene for further evidence of responsibility. Reuters reports, though, that U.S. military investigators also believe it is likely U.S. forces were behind that strike.
Well, so a few things. Does that mean the administration was lying? No. If you looked and you didn't have access to the video, of course, just listening to the audio clip. But these locations that were hit are all in very, very close. They look like they're part of the same compound from the aerial shot. So it is possible. It might even be plausible that this girl's school was accidentally hit by U.S. force, this school. And it's terrible. It's terrible. And I don't think that there's anybody that would say anything otherwise. This is horrible. Does it mean that our efforts in Iran are horrible? No. Does it mean that anything is horrible, that what we are doing is immoral? No. It means that a horrible mistake has been made, and tell that to the parents of the children and the families of those that are killed. And of course, that doesn't mean much to them. It doesn't. And is it regrettable? Yes. This is what happens in wars, and this is one of the reasons why wars are not a game. The loss of life in a war, and I'm not one of these people, by the way. There are a lot of people that have been out celebrating the deaths of the Ayatollah, that have been celebrating. I don't celebrate the death of anybody. Life is precious, but that doesn't mean that we can't support our country when our country is going to war for long-term objectives to bring peace, and so that other people do not die because of these rogue governments. But life is precious, and if it is found that the United States of America is responsible for this catastrophe that happened at the school, this nation, and you know this just based on the past, will make every attempt to at least try to help the families of those involved, because we've done that in the past. War is a terrible thing. And bad things happen in war, and unintended things happen in a war. Now, also, it is also true that allegations about horrible things have been made from enemies in a war that are not true. All of those things happen in wars. It's a terrible tragedy. There are no words that will bring comfort to anyone that has lost their life, that was innocent and did not deserve to lose their life in the war because of their own actions. And I don't know what more to say about it, except it's a terrible thing. But it was not, of course, it was not intentional. If it is what happened. So there are some other things that I want to get to with this. Cut 5 very quickly. This is Ro Kahana, Representative Ro Kahana, Cut 5. And here, listen.
We need to be very clear. Zero supplemental for the war. And you may think, okay, that's a simple statement for me to make, but watch some of these senators on television and how they dance around it. Oh, we got to support our troops. We can support our troops. We've got a $1 trillion budget. We do not need to provide a supplemental dollar for this war. That's how you end wars. That's how we ended Vietnam. That's how we ended Iraq. And frankly, it is totally disingenuous for people to say, well, they voted on this war powers resolution and they're opposed to war, but then they're voting for funding it.
The lever.
Yeah, well, so now you have basically, if we need a supplemental, what you have are Democrats already saying, no, we want to end the war by defunding the military while they're fighting. This is just despicable. Unbelievably despicable. All right, let's turn the page to a minute. Everybody knows this week Kristi Noem got axed. She got shifted over. She's now going to become an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Senator Mark Wayne Mullen is going to take over DHS, Department of Homeland Security, which, by the way, the Democrats still have shut down, and they are still in the middle of a war demanding that we protect illegal immigration. Otherwise, they will keep our Homeland Security Department shut down with funding. Mark Wayne Mullen, Cut 36, was asked after it was released about the transition between he and Kristi Noem, and this is what Senator Mark Wayne Mullen had to say.
Just looking at some of the criticism that Noem has faced, is there any learning lessons that you have picked up from Noem and the ways in which you want to lead the agency a little bit differently?
Kristi is a friend, and I haven't had time to call Kristi yet, and our Secretary Noem, and our families are friends. She was tasked to do a very difficult job, and I think she has performed the best she can do underneath the circumstances. Is there always lessons to be learned? Listen, my wife and I, we have, over the years, we have been fortunate enough to purchase companies and grow our companies, and every day there's something you can do better. And so I think there's an opportunity to build off successes, and there's also opportunities to build off things that maybe didn't go quite as planned. So
yeah, so there's that. I got a text while this was still a breaking news story from America's Smoke Caffeinated Mama on the Rock, her son. I got a text from Gabe, her youngest son. And he says, and the text said, after hearing about Kristi Noem's firing and hearing about what she did, after a day of thinking it over, I've figured out why I dislike her behavior so much. Her behavior indicates a lack of respect for the country. Clearly, her highest goals did not align with the party she claimed to align with. And that is not what this country needs, right? I'm assuming right now. In the high role that she held, we need someone that has a deep respect and devotion for the well-being of this country, and not someone who is off on their own little world, wasting the taxpayers' hard-earned money. I looked at this, okay. So we call Gabe. Gabe, how you doing? Gabe Schrock is with us. How you doing, Gabe?
Doing good, Bo.
All right, so you stand by that, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what is it that you think, when you say she has a lack of respect for the country, why do you say that?
Well, it seems like either she isn't as good as hiding it as she was before, but she clearly has lost sight of why she originally started fighting in politics. She seems to, just value herself and does not seem to want to fight for why she originally started to.
Gabe, let me ask you a question. Not being harsh with you, I'm going to ask you a question. She has been head of DHS. What happened under her tenure over at DHS? What did she achieve?
Well, the one thing I do remember of her the most is when that she didn't shut down her state during COVID. Of all the things, I'm not saying that she is a bad politician or as
I'm not talking about COVID. I'm talking about as head of DHS. What did she do?
What did she do? I'm honestly not fully sure what she did.
All right, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, and I'm not trying to trick you into anything. Just so you understand that, because I think that's getting lost in the story. Is why I asked you the question, Gabe. Under Kristi Noem's leadership, the border was shut down completely. We had zero in several months, zero incoming illegal aliens over the southern border. During Joe Biden's tenure, we had over 11 million people pass through illegally that southern border. Under Kristi Noem, Donald Trump's leadership, zero. Southern border closed. Under Kristi Noem's leadership, we have 3 million in 1 year, 3 million people deported, either self-deported due to a program that was put in, or another close to 1 million, I believe the number was over 600,000, 700,000, that were deported by ICE. Would you say that that's a good track record?
Oh, that sounds like a great track record.
Yeah.
Well, it just sounds like she, I don't know, maybe needs to rethink, I guess just why she originally started, or just to redefine, like, her values.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'm going to tell you, and I said this, I think, Gabe, that your sentiment is a lot. I think there's a lot of disappointment with Kristi Noem right now. A lot. And I shared in the first hour, I don't think you heard it, but I shared in the first hour, I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed too. But here's one thing I do know, Gabe, and I want to leave you with this. As you get old, how old are you right now, Gabe?
19.
You're 19 years old. Here's something that happens when you, as you advance into adulthood. Things that I'm not saying will happen, could happen. Things that you didn't think you would ever do as you go through growing into an adult. There are things that you think you would never do, and sometimes you look back years later after you've become that adult and realize that you've done some of the things that you said you would never do, or that situations have put you in. All I'm trying to say is, and this sounds trite, I know, nobody's perfect. Everybody, including adults, including mature adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, make mistakes. And I don't know that she has a lack of respect for the country. I think Kristi Noem loves this country very much. I'm sure that maybe she's done some things that disappointed herself. Or if she doesn't realize it now, like you said, she'll look back on it and realize at some point that, hey, I blew that. I think it's horrible, by the way, this ad campaign with her putting herself up in front of the cameras, $200 million on a self-promotion campaign tour. I think it's terrible. So you and I are in agreement on that. I'm just saying, when you say things like a lack of respect for the country, I don't know. Two things can be true at the same time. She can have a great deal of respect and love for the country and still make mistakes, because we all are capable of making mistakes. I just hope that she learns from this experience, and I hope that her political career isn't over, because she has she's shown some really good leadership, not only in doing the job that she was tasked to do, but also before during her tenure as governor. And again, your take on the COVID thing, I kind of agree with you on that too. You have great political instincts. You come from a family. So I just wanted to touch base with you, Gabe, and do you have any thoughts about that as we leave here with each other, this brief visit?
I don't believe so. I think we covered pretty much everything that I had to say, so.
Cool. All right, well, I wanted to get you in here and just see what you thought about all of it. Thank you, and I think your sentiments, by the way, echo a lot. She's taking a lot of heat.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Okay, folks, this is a really, really short segment. I apologize. Went really long in that first segment. So we're going to take another quick commercial break. We're going to come back, though, with some more audio from you and your phone calls. And we've got a lot to talk about, including this horrible case in Virginia, where a woman was killed by an illegal immigrant who has been released time and time and time again by one of these progressive district attorneys. More is coming about that case, and it is chilling. Don't go away. Stay right here.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Let's get quickly, yes, on the telephones. We're headed to your calls. Thank you for being so patient on the phones. Cut 14, we were talking about Kristi. This is Senator John Kennedy, whose question is the one that sparked Kristi's losing her gig.
Ads out across America, $250 million, in which she was prominently displayed. They looked a great deal like political ads. And I found that breathtaking. And when I see what I perceive to be spending porn, I don't care who does it. I'm going to call it out. I'm pretty cheap when it comes to taxpayer money. I squeak when I walk. And that's what happened. It also came out, though the Secretary denied it, that these were no-bid contracts, and then apparently some of them did not go to people whose names she got off ZipRecruiter. They went to political friends. And we talked about that. And I was stunned when she answered categorically that the president approved every single bit of it. Later that day, I got a call from President Trump. He was mad as a mama wasp. He said, "Kennedy, I hope you understand that I had nothing to do with this." And I said, "Well, I do believe you, Mr. President." He was not happy. It was clear to me after that conversation that the secretary's time at the department was limited. That to be blunt, she was dead as fried chicken. And we talked about a few names that he might consider. And then what happened. It's not personal. But President Trump was very irritated that the secretary had seemed to blame this on him.
As he should be. So here's where I hope things go, and then we'll leave it alone. I hope that Kristi Noem uses her time at Operation SHIELD, or SHIELD as a SHIELD agent, or whatever it is in the Marvel Disney world over there, SHIELD of the Americas agent, and I mean this because I do like Kristi Noem. I like Kristi Noem. But I really hope that she straightens out her life. You know, she's got some issues going on with the personal life that I think could be playing a part in all of this. And I hope that she uses that time to really solidify, get her personal life straightened out. You know, there's an expression, I can't use it here, about being whipped by certain things. P-whipped or D-whipped. Or so, and I just hope that the personal life gets straightened out and she does make a comeback, because I think she's really could be a great politician in the future. Maybe take a little time away from the public eye after her tenure at Operation SHIELD or Agent of SHIELD. Straighten out, do some things to demonstrate, bring back the Kristi Noem that everybody thought was just the next greatest thing. Bring back that person, or grow into the person that she wants to be. You know, not too late to do that. People make mistakes, and this was a huge one, and it was a very public one. Most of our mistakes, if you're not a public figure, we get made. Those people that are next to us, that see us, that know us, or that we hurt, they see our mistakes, but most of the time we are spared the benefit of having our mistakes broadcast all over the country and all over the world. And that's when you assume a very public position, those are the risks that come with it. Your mistakes are going to be magnified. So I hope she is able to recover from it. Let's head back to the telephones, shall we? People have been waiting. John is in Reno. I'm assuming Reno, Nevada. Is that right, John? In Reno? Put John on hold and tell John we tried to reach him in Reno. Meanwhile, let's head to Tennessee and check in with Harold. Harold, how are you?
Morning, Mr. Golden. The Democrats, they're pretending to be concerned about the price of gasoline. That's a load of manure. It was part of their strategy. It still is, to run up the price of gasoline to put us all in a Chinese battery-operated car. What? And people can't see that?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. There are things. Here's a story that is today. Let me remind myself of the source of it. It is from the Los Angeles Times. Coincidentally enough, as gas prices rise, California gets punched harder at the pump than any other states. And it is filled with complaints. Spencer Shearer was filling up his Nissan Sentra on Friday morning at the Chevron station in Brentwood, paying a rate higher than almost anywhere else in the country, $5.55 per gallon. It sucks, Shearer said as he watched his bill on the pump click toward $50. With the continued conflict in and around Iran, gas prices are rising. And all this. But what you are saying, true that. We were told that fossil fuels are killing the planet. This is the left. We were told we have to get into electric vehicles. This is the left. We were told we will give you incentives to get into electric vehicles. When that didn't work enough, then California, other states started mandating electric vehicles. Governments, entire state and city governments, our fleets are going to be electric. And no one bothered to ask the critical question. If we're using electric cars, how are we getting the electrics? And the electrics come from fossil fuels, oil. So all the use of electric vehicles anyway was just a sham job, because you still need oil to fuel the electrics. It's all been a scam from day one. And now the scam is turning very, very expensive out in California. Oil refineries are leaving because they hate oil refineries, and their costs are going to be astronomical. As for everything else, Donald Trump said this latest bump up in the oil prices due to the actions that are being taken in Iran and with the Strait of Hormuz being what it is. He said, look, the gas prices ticked up a little bit, not a lot, and they're going to go back down dramatically in a short period of time. So, but you have nailed it. You have nailed it, Harold. This entire move, the left has tried to force us into these electric vehicles. And by the way, I like some of the electric vehicles. I don't know whether have you ever rode in a Tesla?
No, sir, but the only practical way for electric cars to be practical is put up the wires like on the Northeast Corridor and run them on the extension cord. That's the only practical.
I love it.
It's true. And have a little motor to get off the grid to go to your house, maybe go 50 miles, something. That's the only way that's going to work.
I don't know about that. Harold, do you like fast cars?
Yes.
Do you like fast cars? Really like fast cars?
I know that torque all at once, the electric motors. Yes, I know how it works.
Harold, do me a favor. I'm not saying buy one, because I'm not going to, but do yourself a favor and take a test drive in a Tesla with somebody that really knows how to drive it on an open road. And then call me back one day if you do it and tell me what you thought about it.
Okay. Now, hey, young people in socialism, they need to be reminded that Hitler was a socialist. Look up Nazi Party. And they need to be educated.
The National, what is it? The National Democrat, what is it? National Democrats?
National Socialist Workers of Germany, I believe, something like that.
No. It's better than that. We'll get it. We'll get the actual, because yes, but every time you say that, they say Hitler was right. Look. You a student of history. Most kids these days in America don't get exposed to real history. Most Congress people in the Democrat Party elected don't get exposed to history. It's sad.
I know another point. We got to thank the squad for showing us who the Democrat Party really is. They can't hide. It's out in the open.
They are. 53. Thank you for the call, Harold. 53 members of the squad voted to stick with Iran. They are against the idea that Iran should be called the terrorist state that they are. 53 elected Democrats. Gene in New York. Got to go quick. Gene, how are you this morning?
Good tidings, Sir James Snerdley. How are you?
Good,
Just
thank you.
On the Upper West Side, about ready to go into my store, but trying to pick on Teddy a little bit. He's looking at 1 + 1. I'm trying to figure out when he's going to do some projectory math. And when we take over the strait of how the insurance is going to come down, which then bleeds into, gas prices coming down even further than they are right now.
And they will be. And this is one of the things Donald Trump is talking about, the energy prices that will go down as a result of these actions here. More important to me than all of that, the number one terrorist state in the world, the number one funder of terrorism around the world will be no longer able to fund terrorism around the world. And their proxy terrorist groups are being taken out too.
That is fantastic. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
The James Golding Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golding Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golding, Snerdley with you here. Hey, Matt, how much time do we have? Do we have time? Look at the cut 12 and tell me if we have time for this. Just give me a yay or nay, because this is a huge story. And if we can't, we do. Folks, if we do it right now. Let's play this right now for you folks. This is a huge story. I want to touch on this.
We're learning Fairfax County Police provided significant details to the Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office about how dangerous Abdul Jallow was, including gruesome details about many of his past cases. Fairfax County Police told Commonwealth's Attorney Steve Descano's office that in April 2024, Jallow stabbed someone in the head. Before that, police said he stabbed a homeless person in the head while the guy was sleeping in a bus stop, telling him, "Get up, you can't sleep here." Jallow stole an elderly man's phone and stabbed him, and police said he stabbed another stranger at a McDonald's. In 2018, police said Jallow choked a woman, stomped her, burned her, and raped her. But despite all of this, and those 3 emails from May, August, and November of last year literally warning that Jallow could kill someone if he were released, Descano's office dropped almost every single charge that came across their desk and agreed to suspend Jallow's prison sentence, releasing him back into the community again. Last week, police say Jallow stabbed Stephanie Minter to death at this bus stop in Fairfax County.
They chose to let him out. In turn, now we have an individual who's now dead because of it.
Steve Monahan is the president of the Fairfax County Police Union. He tells 7 News police were practically begging Descano to keep Jallow off the streets.
Our officers are doing their jobs. It falls with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. I would like to see Steve Descano take accountability for some of these cases and take accountability for Stephanie Minter's death.
Now, for the second day in a row, 7 News has requested an interview with Descano. His office would only share to us that they shared police concerns about how dangerous this man could be and that they put their best prosecutors on his past cases. But this doesn't explain why they dropped so many charges against this man and agreed to suspend his sentence, allowing this illegal immigrant back into the community. This also doesn't explain why Descano's office didn't hand this man over to ICE if they felt he was so dangerous.
Nick, this is not the first time that you've reported on concerns with Descano's office here on Channel 7, letting repeat offenders walk free. So who exactly has oversight of his office?
Voters do. That's who provides oversight over the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office. They choose their Commonwealth's attorneys. Steve Descano was elected in 2019 and then reelected in 2023. He'll be back on the ballot in 2027.
All right, Nick Minock with that story you broke yesterday, and we want to bring back
thank you. So this is, folks, this is unbelievable. This guy stabs multiple people, stabs people in the head, stabs other people, sets someone on fire, and rapes her. And what do Democrats do in Fairfax County, Virginia? Let him out, let him out, let him out, let him out. Don't press charges. Then, I have another report here, can't even get to in this time. One of the reasons they said they let him out was because it depended on witness testimony to convict him. And then a reporter dug into that. You know what the reporter found? This district's attorney's office never contacted the witnesses. They never asked the witnesses to testify. They just dropped this. Folks, you keep hearing about these Soros prosecutors. You keep hearing about these liberal prosecutors. This is what they are doing to your country. Hour number duo in the can. Hour number trio coming up. Princess Di is going to be here. America's small caffeinated mom is going to be here. Your calls are going to be here. Thank you for staying on hold if you're on hold. James Golden, Snerdley, hour number duo. Headed toward the can on our Saturday morning extravaganza, your Saturday morning vibe. Stay right here with us.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Nearly 3 years ago in 2023, every single member of the House of Representatives.
We mourn Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. We mourn IRGC General. We mourn IRGC General Qasem Soleimani. And we mourn. President Ibrahim Raisi. As Iranian leaders who represented resistance. Resistance to Zionism. Resistance to colonial domination. We stand with the Islamic Republic of Iran. We stand with the Iranian people. Defending their sovereignty. And their revolution. And the right to determine their own future.
Yeah, any Iranians that have ever tried to determine their own future got killed by this government over there. This is New York City, within a mile, roughly, of the World Trade Center. This is New York City. Those protesters mourning Ayatollah, the late Ayatollah.
It's time for Radio Royalty with James Golden and America's Princess of Policy, Princess Di.
Her Ness is in the house. Been looking forward to this, catching up instead of the craziness with the goodness, the lightness, the wonderfulness, and the great analysisness from Princessness of Princess Diana is in the house-ness. Good morning, Your Highness. How are you?
Good morning, Sir Jamesness, and it's always wonderful to speak with you.
Oh, your voice is like a balm to my nerves. It really is, Princess. What a week this has been. My goodness. These people, I mean, they're standing. I can't get over this. In New York, they are standing less than a mile or so from the World Trade Center, going on and on about we stand with the Islamic Republic of Iran. After all Iran is 53 Democrats, 53 of elected Democrats refused to sign a resolution saying that Iran was the number one state sponsor of terrorism in the world. 53 elected Democrats.
Yes. Well, you know, it is one of those things that we lived through 9/11, and it is fresh in our memories. But you have to remember, a huge percentage of Americans and voters were not born then. And so you say that it's an amazing thing to have those protests so close to the site of that horrible terror attack. But on the other hand, it is not in living memory of many New York City voters and residents. And so it is one of those things that in time, these things recede, and if they're not taught in school and they're not talked about in the culture, it is very easy for people to not remember these important events in our country's history. And I think it's been deliberate on the left's part.
Wow. So, what do you make of where we are, Princess Diana, this week, a week after the action has come to take the Islamic Republic of Iran down, the successes that we've had, even though you wouldn't know it from some of the mainstream media? Where do you think we are?
Well, I think we've got the death to America axis around the world is dead. Trump is taking out the death to America axis, which mainly was Iran, but there are many countries around the globe who will fit into that as an operative philosophy that America is the enemy, America needs to be taken down, and China is also in that axis. And so Trump is in, as I said last week, Operation Global Cleanup. And I just want to review again briefly what we've had this year. If you remember, I talked about it in the beginning of January that the Trump White House had released a clip from Gladiator, the movie, and it was a short clip that ended with, "Upon my signal, unleash hell." And I got a chill. This was released December 30th. 2025, and I said, okay, Trump is signaling this year is going to be unleashing hell for our enemies. And so it has been. In January, we had Nicolas Maduro, who was snatched from his bed and brought to the United States. And you haven't heard word one. He is in prison in New York, as far as I know, but it's been very quiet. There hasn't been a whole lot of coverage of what his fate is, but he is being brought to justice. Then all through February, we had the narco boats bombed. We had El Mencho in Mexico, the new generation cartels, that's the name. He was the kingpin. He was taken out February 22nd. On February 28th, Iran, the Ayatollah, was taken out. So you have now this enormous movement globally, and Trump is talking about sending Marco Rubio to Cuba. And Trump said recently, he said that Cuba is going to fall pretty soon. I'll put Marco over there. So that is going to be the next thing you have. As you mentioned, Ecuador in a joint operation to work with the United States to take on the drug cartels. So all of these things are operating as a large strategy on Trump's part. And of course, each individual piece has enormous controversy, and people, I think, are deliberately being prevented from seeing the big picture. And the big picture is enormously positive for the United States. And you have, the president of Cuba just recently said Cuba is open to talks with the United States on any issue to build a civilized relationship between neighbors. They have seen what, unfortunately, has happened to a lot of the compatriots in the evil axis, and they don't want to be next. And a lot of countries in the world are lining up with America. And in the Middle East, they're picking sides. They were trying to be neutral, and then Iran attacked them stupidly. And now today, Iran is issuing an apology. Oh, we'll never do that again. We'll never attack you people who haven't attacked us. And so the world is changing enormously and too fast for the left to comprehend, for the media to comprehend. And Trump is able to cut through a lot of that. And I wanted to see if we could play his commentary on where things stand in Iran. We have a good clip.
Okay, and this is Donald Trump on Iran. Here it is.
Said I'd give it a 12 to a 15. Their army is gone. They're just about, look, their navy is gone. Their communications are gone. Their leaders are gone. 2 sets of their leaders are gone. They're down to their 3rd set. Their air force is wiped out entirely. Think of it. They have 32 ships. All 32 are at the bottom of the ocean. Other than that, they're doing very well, Coach. Very well. We're doing, our military is doing phenomenally. That's the big thing for this week. We seem to have a new thing every week, but the situation with a very bad and very sick group of leaders who were killing a lot of people. A lot of our people were.
Yeah.
Yes. And so he puts it clearly. Now, CENTCOM, our communications from the central military, is talking about the attacks from Iran are down 90%, drone attacks are down 83%, 60% of the missile launchers have been destroyed, according to Israel. 80% of their air defense systems have been destroyed. And CENTCOM says 3,000 targets in 1 week have been assaulted by Operation Epic Fury. So this is the facts, the truth. We have a lot of propaganda flying, and Fox put together a little compilation of what the mainstream media is saying. And I hope you have that one, too.
And here it is.
Not even a week into Operation Epic Fury, Iran's leaders are dead, the Navy's underwater, and we control the skies. But if you change the channel, don't. But if you do, you'd think we lost.
The reality is that the Iranians maintain pretty shocking military capability and asymmetric capability.
Once you go to regime change from the air, which cannot be achieved, you're setting up the military not only to fail, but we as a country will have failed.
I think that the war in Iran is not going the way he had hoped and wanted. This is a real mess.
The media has turned into Iranian state TV. If it was up to them, we wouldn't have fired a shot at the Ayatollah until his finger was this close to the big red button. Or worse, until after Trump was dead. The regime's been trying to get him for years.
Boom.
Yep. Well said. And those voices you may not have recognized. One was John Brennan, Obama's CIA chief, and another one was Obama's Manuel.
Yeah, and by the way, Jim Hines was in there. Jim Hines was the guy, Representative Jim Hines, Democrat Jim Hines. Iran maintains shocking military capabilities as their entire navy is lying at the bottom of the ocean. They have no air force. I had another one. I heard somebody else talking about the drones and how they didn't have it in this one and how we'd never be able to defeat their drones. And their drones capability is shrinking to almost by the day. In fact, we reverse engineered their drones and we're using their own drones against them.
Yes, absolutely brilliant. And as the CENTCOM said, the attacks are down 83%. So people can say all they want, but you look at what Iran is doing, and they are down to almost nothing. Their capabilities are obviously degraded significantly. So the media can claim that, we're in trouble and it's not going well, but the facts on the ground belie all of that.
It's just amazing. It is just amazing to see. And anyone else, if this were not Trump, they would be talking about we've never seen a military do operations like this. Now, we lost American soldiers, and Caroline Leavitt took the task, because they kept talking about, and I want to be really careful how I'm saying this. we had estimates between 4 and 6 military deaths in an operation of this scale. Everyone, of course, important. Everyone we mourn. Everyone we pray for their families.
Yes.
When you look at the level of warfare that has happened, to have 6 casualties reported thus far is almost miraculous. When you look at the scale of war that has been inflicted on Iran, the Iran regime. I don't know whether you would agree with that. I hope I said it right.
Yes, you said it right, and it's very important to note that today is the dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base of 6 of America's fallen, and Trump will be there. And this is something, as a country, we mourn those 6 and their families, and we are with them and support them. And Trump is not going to be looking at his watch during the dignified transfer. So this is an important role that Trump is comforting the families. And so I think today is a somber day for our nation.
Please explain the looking at his watch. There are people, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm sure that there are people that don't understand the context of that comment you just made.
Well, during the Biden administration, there was also a dignified transfer of America's fallen. And as the caskets were being unloaded, the camera was trained on the President of the United States, and he looked at his watch as if to say, how long is this going to take? I'd rather be anywhere else. And the families were affronted. The families were furious. And the words that the Biden spoke were discussed by the families as being completely self-centered and about him. And so that event was stuck in the craw of America's military and families and country, of anyone who saw that. And Trump will not be looking at his watch.
Princess Di, stay right there. We got to take a quick break. James Golden, Snerdley.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And Princess Diana is here. Your Highness, big changes at DHS.
Yes, and I just wanted to add something that I think people may have forgotten. My theory is that this was the last straw, the things you mentioned, what she said in the hearing about the advertisement being approved by Trump, which wasn't. I think we forgot what happened at the end of January, where she demanded a 2-hour meeting in the White House with the president after the mess in Minneapolis caused Trump to put Tom Homan, the czar of the immigration, the border czar, on the Minneapolis problem. And you remember there were 2 Americans killed. He came out very quickly afterwards and said things that were too soon to say, calling them terrorists and things like that. And the situation was out of control. Trump put Homan on it, and if you notice, everything is quiet in Minneapolis as far as what was brewing as a riot situation that was taking off elsewhere in the country. And Homan went in, negotiated the ability to take the bad guys out of jails, local and state. And so that has been a more peaceful process, and she was sidelined, and that was the reason she is out. That's my theory.
Wow. So you don't think the blanket had anything to do with it? and some of the other things that have also made their way into the news, eh?
I think that's all part of the mix. But really, what Trump cares about is competence and effectiveness. And she proved that there was a problem. Management problem. He put Homan on it. The management problem went away. And that was when Trump decided, in my view. And he was just waiting for the right opportunity when she made another mistake. So that's what happened. She's out. And I'm not sorry.
Wow. Princess Diana, thank you, Your Highness. So good to hear your voice, my darling. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
As always, Sir James, have a wonderful week.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, when we get back, we're going to grab your calls, so be ready. Write to your points, please. And America's Small Caffeinated Mom also coming up. Saturday Morning Vibe, your extravaganza, continues right here. Don't go away.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
People have been holding. Paul in Connecticut, you're up first. Thank you for waiting.
Hello, Mr. Snerdley. Just want to say on Kristi Noem, not everything she did was bad. I did like the commercials, and she gave everybody a clear offer of $3,600 to go back to your home country and reapply. I think that was more than fair. But as you know, I think the timing of her going into Minneapolis and causing a ruckus really took the eye off the ball on the Somali fraud.
Interesting. Thank you for the call. And you're right about that. And I mentioned the deportations, 3 million. That's not a small deal. There's a lot more behind this story, I think, than is being talked about, or in front of, or behind, or both. Anyway, thank you for the call. Appreciate it very much. Let's head over to Robert in New Jersey.
People should know that the word Iran means land of the Aryans. They changed it from Persia to cozy up to Hitler. We'll know we made some real progress when the people of that country start calling themselves Persians again, and they rename that country Persia.
Ooh, interesting. What an interesting... I did not know that, Robert. Thank you for the call. How interesting is that? Thank you. Rhonda in New Jersey, you are up next.
Yes, love the show. I'm calling about an article in the Jerusalem Post. I had lost a cousin to a terrorist attack, and Mayor Zoran Mamdani's wife, Rama, likened several Instagram posts regarding the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. She was sympathetic to it. One of the posts features images of Palestinian breaching Israeli defenses and described the attack as a form of resistance. Now, 1,200 people were brutally killed on October 7th, and my question is, how could she occupy Gracie Mansion? Why can't the United States government arrest her for treason? This is absurd.
She's not going to be arrested for treason. Come on, she's not. And Mamdani, she liked some things on social media, basically in support of what you're saying here of October 7th. Mamdani was asked about it this week, and he says, my wife is, she has nothing to do with politics. She's not a member of the administration. She's a private citizen minding her own business. And with that, the press corps just shut up and went away. She's not going to be arrested for treason. But Rhonda, thank you for bringing out what is going to continue to be discussed about the mayor's wife. I wish I could carry it further. I got to squeeze in another call here. Chris, we only got a minute or two. I wanted to get you in real quick. What's on your mind this week?
Good morning, James. I don't know whose radio show it was. I was radio channel surfing around, and somebody made a joke about Kristi Noem maybe could get into OnlyFans or something like that to make money.
That was me. You were a comment on my show said she should open up her OnlyFans page.
In the beginning of the program, you had made some comments about rhinos and you were sick of them. But, here's the thing. If political ideologies and movements take over the leadership of political committees and the minds of voters that tend to vote with one major political party or the other, without people within the major parties having a voice of reason or a contrary voice or a voice of criticism, if things get pushed too far or mistakes are made, where are we going to have the logic in politics? I just want to throw that out there.
Chris, I just want to answer. This is one of the reasons I love you so much, because I love the points you make. And you give me a chance to explain what I mean by that. I am not opposed to the Big Tent. I do not call certain politicians rhinos. For instance, I don't call Mike Lawler a rhino. Now, Mike Lawler doesn't think like I do on some things he does. But I think from Lawler, I think he, for instance, is one of them that goes on principle. I don't think he wets his finger, puts it up in the air, and then says, oh no, this isn't polling well. I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't think so. I think when he talks, but I disagree with him on a lot of stuff. I don't want him out of the party. I'm all for dissent within the party. Those are not the people I'm calling rhinos. I'm calling rhinos the ones who really want to sabotage Trump by putting their political knives in his back, but they're too afraid to say that I oppose Trump out in the open. Those are the rhinos that I'm talking about. They are not principled. They just want to stick it to the leader of their party without actually confessing that the reason they're doing it is that they're just TDS Democrats with an R in front of their name. Those are the people that I'm talking about.
So,
Chris?
James, I was recently offered to run on the Republican and conservative lines against a Democrat that beat me in a primary. I got 30% of the vote in a three-way primary in June. And I don't think I would have the support based on demographic shifts to pull it off, and I wouldn't be able to win the working families line, how there's been corrupt laws passed in New York State election laws where you can't win other party lines without a Wilson Pakula permission slip from the party bosses or unless you're enrolled in that party. And the ironic thing is this.
But, Chris, that is a deeper issue. And I can't do that right now, by the way, because we just ran out of time for this segment. I got to get Rhonda in. Man, I always get cut short with Chris. This guy is so amazing. But that was a brilliant question, Chris, and I want to talk about that further. And also, I would love to see you run again and win, because I think you make sense. So we need to talk soon, and we got to take a break.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
John Catsimatidis sent me a news story. I'm looking at it. This is amazing. The story is, here's the headline, George Soros gets brutal news. Trump just got his revenge. What is it? Trump demands RICO charges against Soros. Wow. So have people wondering if they're going to if something is in the works there. We shall see. Interesting. Time to check in, ladies and gentlemen, with Rhonda Schrock, America's small caffeinated mom. How are you, Rhonda?
Good morning, James. First of all, I want to thank you so much for spending that time with Gabe today. And I have to tell you what he said when he got off of the phone. He said, James seemed like an uncle. I think my base is good, but he showed me that I need to hone it. So you have encouraged him to continued learning and growth. He really, really took that to heart. So, wow, thank you so much.
Wow.
Great, and I appreciate that. Yes, that was lovely. You just have a lovely way. You have these callers that are angry, and you somehow, through your kindness and your compassion, you simmer them down, and then you switch over and you work with the teenager. So that's very impressive. So anyway, it is the teenager, actually, who lost his keys last Saturday. I got done with the show, and I told the men here, I want to run to the library, and I'm going to need you to move your car, young man. So I hopped in my own car, and I sat there waiting, and I think about 3 election cycles came and went, and there was no teenager. Oh, well, I'm honking the horn with all my, Christian patience. He finally appears, and he said, I can't find my keys. What? Okay, so I hopped out. I began the maternal interrogation. Where all did you go? What did you do? When's the last time you held them in your hand? What's the last you remember? And we began to retrace our steps around this property, which is quite large. We all 3 dropped everything, and we started looking. We could not find the keys. Now, I don't know why, but the men in my family, all of them have had a checkered past when it comes to finding lost objects. I mean, those boys of mine could spot a ding-dong from 120 yards, but I could throw them into the vegetable patch, and they were suddenly legally blind. There were no weeds. They were done. The garden was clean. Anyway, that's just been their pattern. So back to the missing keys, I finally said, guys, the library's going to close. I'm going to have to take another car and go, hoping that by the time I got back, they would have located the keys. Well, I came back. The keys were still missing. Out of desperate, which meant that the college kid couldn't drive his car to class. He couldn't go meet with friends. It was a huge hindrance. So I did what is second nature to me, and I said a little prayer that went like this: you know where those keys are. Either take us to the keys or bring the keys to us. And what came to me was that I needed to check the rocks. He had been out in an outbuilding, and there are rocks in the landscaping along the outbuilding. So I followed my husband out there. He was searching the grounds, and as I paused beside the rocks, I looked to the left, and there they were in plain sight. We had walked past them any number of times and had simply not seen them. So we handed them back to the college kid. He was very relieved. We did a few little lectures like, I told you to get a spare key, that kind of thing. And we went on with our day. But all week long, I have been thinking about those missing keys and the lessons that they actually carry. First of all, those keys were there all along. They were waiting to be found. We simply hadn't looked there. The second thing was that he had ignored his father's admonition early on when he bought the car to get the spare key, not out of any ill intent. He was just very busy. And, with the insouciance that the young have, he just forgot it. It wasn't a big deal until it was. Well, third, losing the keys meant that he was stalled. That car could not be driven, couldn't carry him to school, couldn't carry him to church, to his activities. It was a very big hindrance to his life. Fourth, I remembered this again. There is nothing too small to pray about. And I know that suggestion that came to me was in answer to that prayer. I need to check the rocks, and there they were. But beyond that, and perhaps more importantly, James, I thought about the times in life where we feel like we are stalled and we have lost the keys to happiness and to peace and to meaning in our lives. If that is you, chances are that you have walked right by the keys and you simply haven't seen them. Or maybe, like my son, in your own insouciance, you just forgot about it. For me, for the caffeinated mom, my 3 keys by which I navigate my life, they are faith, hope, and love. I don't have to know how my car engine works. I just have to have enough faith that it works to put my key in the ignition and turn it, or to step on the brake and push the button. That's all it takes. That little bit of faith starts the engine, and I can get to the library or the coffee shop or wherever I'm wanting to go. Faith is the first key. I cling to the key of hope. It is hope that there is something better and something more, and there is an end to hard times and suffering. It gives me the patience and the endurance that I need to get through the hard times. It is hope that keeps me floating through everything. The last and the biggest key is love. And I have learned that love is actually connected to an endless supply of divine love. And I am meant to be not a reservoir hoarding the love that I receive, because reservoirs can turn stagnant and sour. I don't want to be a reservoir. I am a conduit for that divine love. Faith, hope, and love will unlock a life of purpose and meaning, and I know what I'm talking about because I'm living that life. Not a perfect life, James, but a life that is so full of joy and actual happiness and peace. When we learn to live for other people and not to live for ourselves first, and we can rest our weight on someone greater and bigger than ourselves, and when we refuse to let go of hope, we will have a quality of life that I can scarcely articulate. That is what I want for myself, my family, and what I want for my fellow Americans who I love so dearly. That's what's on my mind today. Don't let go of hope.
That is amazing. It is beautiful. Rhonda, where can people find your essay and where can people find you?
The Missing Keys is on thedailybs.com, your website, in the columnist section. And I am over at RhondaSchrock.com, SCHROCK.
Wow. Rhonda, thank you so much. And thank Gabe again. I enjoyed speaking with him. Thank you so much, Rhonda.
I will. Thank you, James.
James Golden is only here. We have time for one more call before we head out for the day. Mike is calling from South Carolina. And I don't think it's politics on his mind. I think it's something else. Hi, Mike. How are you?
No politics. Hey, Bo, how you doing? Long time. And great. Help me, Rhonda. Help. Great call, Rhonda. You know, I'm playing a gig tonight, open mic night. I got my wood grain conga. I've had it for 25 years, you know. And I'll tell you what, when you mentioned Isley Brothers, forget it, man. I played the drums back in the day, jazz, blues, big band, orchestra, and the list goes on and on. I'm going to leave you with this, Bo, if I could. If you can hear it. Okay, I'll do a little. Here we go.
Boom. We have musicians with, you know what that reminds me? Hey, there's a network. It was paid for by the taxpayers. I won't mention the network, but they had this show on where they actually have musicians in the studio and they play, with part of it. I always thought that was a really cool idea. Man, you know, it's awesome. So let me ask you a question. Someone asked me this question lately and I almost froze because what was the best concert that you've ever seen? Who was it?
Oh, man, the best concert I've ever seen. I saw Chicago 5 times. I saw Springsteen at my father's place back in 73. And other bands, Joe Cocker at my father's place. Feeling all right, not feeling too good myself. Who wrote those lyrics? But anyway, so many great ones, Bo, and I'm glad I got through today. For the 4 hours.
But who was the best? Was it Chicago?
I would have to say Chi-Town, Chicago. Yes, 25 or 6 to 4. Oh yeah, you know.
I love Chicago. I love Chicago. You know, yes, and I've loved them since their first album, the CTA album, which I used to double record. CTA, black cover with the red lettering CTA. That was one of the most influential albums I have ever heard.
Well said, because I never missed an Ed Sullivan show when I saw the Beatles. You know, I'm 10 years old, 64. Oldest of 3 sons. I said to Mom and Dad 2 weeks later, I think I want to learn how to play the drums. They looked at each other. You know, misgiving look. 2 weeks later, I got Sonar, Pink Champagne, Sparkle, Zildjian Cymbals. Forget about it, man. Forget it.
Oh, my gosh. Your first set?
Yeah. So,
nice.
Keep doing what you're doing because you got the mojo. I'm listening to ABC 35 years. And every once in a while, you know, I'll throw a curveball, especially get some of the loony kazoonie callers overnight. Forget it, man. I don't want to, you know, whatever. Look, yeah, so keep doing what you're doing, Bob, because I'll be jamming on some music today before we go play open mic night. Oh, yeah.
Well, look, have fun playing, man. I'm so glad that you're still enjoying what you're doing, playing the music, making it happen. Thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to The James Golden Show. You can hear The James Golden Show Saturday mornings at 7. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here? This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I
filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though. I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.